Welcome to Fantasy and Football, Episode 1. We're your hosts, Chris and Colby. This is a show where we combine two of our favorite things, fantasy football and the fantasy genre. Both determine our real world emotions and therefore affect the people around us that we love. Both are completely fictional, so we'll get into it now. For the first episode, we've just prepared some questions just to help with the flow. You get to know us a little bit better and kind of what the podcast will be about.
Very good.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like he said, I'm Colby. When it comes to the fantasy genre, not only are both Chris and I avid readers, but I am also an aspiring author. I've written 3 novels so far. 2 of these are in the fantasy genre. Currently working on another one in the fantasy genre as well. So when we talk about fantasy, we're bringing both the fandom side with us, but I'll also bring in a little bit of the professional side as well, when it's applicable.
When it comes to were you done?
Yeah, that's it. That's my spiel.
That's my spiel. All right. When it comes to fantasy football, not only are we fans and longtime players of the game, but we're both physical therapists. And so part of what we're trying to do with this podcast is bring a more professional spin to fantasy football, talk a little bit about the injuries that go on week to week and how that might affect a player's outlook. Uh-oh. Ooh, did I lag real bad?
You lagged, but your words came through.
Okay, because you on my screen were like
no,
the whole time
like...
I was talking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We'll see if it came out in post.
I know.
Nice.
All right.
Well, very good.
Let me talk about this episode name. So, title of today's episode, 20 questions, 1 bottle of water. Now, as we said in the intro, we're just going to be really asking each other questions for this first episode. And I don't know how the audience feels about AI, but I hear the servers get so hot, they have to run cool water through the servers. And for every 20 questions that you ask ChatGPT or whatever AI, use 1 bottle of water. So that's what we're going to try to do today.
Wow. You're ruining
but
the
it's
planet.
Like we're the AI.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. We are the AI. Yeah.
We are.
Very good. Let's see if our questions are better than AI.
I definitely didn't get my questions from AI.
I didn't either.
And you'll be able to tell. All right.
Nice.
All right. So for the first part of the show, we're going to talk about football, fantasy football, and maybe a little real life football.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is, who is your favorite real life team? We'll start with real life.
Mm-hmm.
And why?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do NFL and or college. So Colby, you start.
All right. I'm going to get off the wrong foot with everyone in the audience right now already. I am from Kansas. I want to make that very clear. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, have been my entire life. Diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. I went through the Brody Croyle years. I want to make that clear. The Matt Castle years. When we started 0-9. But yeah, Chiefs fan through and through. Have been my whole life. For the NFL. For college, what's interesting is I didn't really watch a ton of college football growing up. Kansas University was booty cheeks most of my life. They were good in like 2012, but I wasn't watching at that time. K-State's pretty good, but like my family hates Kansas State, so I never watched them, even though they're pretty legit. My sister goes there now, so I've like watched it a little bit more, but I've definitely been watching college football more these last few years, but mainly NFL.
Cool. I'm definitely not going to piss anybody off with my favorite NFL team, but it's the Cleveland Browns. there's nothing anyone can say to me to make me feel bad about that because they make me feel bad about that themselves.
Dude,
Um,
you see
been
they
with
announced today Joe Flacco's the starting QB.
yeah, and that was to be expected.
Yeah.
That one was to be expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what did Juju Smith-Schuster say? Browns is the Browns. So yeah, been with them. So I'm from Ohio. My dad is from Cleveland. My mom's from outside the Cincinnati area. So we've got a split household, but dad got to me first. So
Hmm.
for good and for bad, Cleveland Browns fan. College, definitely Ohio State. Ohio State's the third and best pro team that we have in the state of Ohio. Just coming off the national championship. Oregon
Nice.
fans, eat your hearts out. Texas fans, eat your hearts out. Notre Dame fans, eat your hearts out. And hold that fat L. So, goes without saying, from Columbus, huge Ohio State fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of your Kansas City Chiefs, I listened to the podcast episode to end all podcasts
Yeah.
on shout out New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers and Taylor Swift. So
Yeah.
hopefully the new album brings
Yeah. We'll take
good
more
football.
Swifties.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
I will say, I feel like last year they were a little bit less intense with the Taylor Swift stuff, at least like the announcers, the commentators, stuff like that. That was really annoying at first. Being a Chiefs fan, and every 3 seconds, we're like, there she is.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, okay.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But
I mean, I wish the Browns had somebody to show because the football in the field is so bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next question. Do you currently have an all-time favorite player or favorite contemporary player?
Yeah. I think it's probably pretty safe to say Mahomes is like currently my favorite player. Probably will be as I grow old. I mean, I'm like watching an era of like a GOAT contender for my home team, so that's hard to beat. I think like growing up with the Chiefs, some notable names like Priest Holmes, one of our running backs back in the day, he was sweet. Dante Hall, kick returner, he was fun.
Yeah.
And then like Jamal Charles was dope when I was like in high school watching the Chiefs. So those guys were huge for me. I also was a huge Peyton Manning fan when I was young. Just, that's how it goes.
He was the man.
He was the man.
And I was going to ask you if you had any non-Chiefs in there. But
I had a Peyton Manning jersey. That's like the
Okay.
only dude ever outside of the Chiefs I've worn a jersey of.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you?
Yeah. I would say my favorite contemporary player. It's kind of hard. I just really through fantasy football too. I just like so many players.
Yeah.
And the Browns have never really given anyone in my lifetime. I mean, Nick Chubb, Browns legend.
Yeah.
Josh Cribbs, Browns legend. Not even counting the whatever 30 quarterbacks they've had in my 30 years of life, one for every year. But I would say, hey, contemporarily, like I love Lamar Jackson. That's not a hot take.
He's sweet.
He's just like he's the most fun player in my adult life that I watch. Like he's just magic. A little preseason prediction here, but I'd love to see the Ravens actually win the championship this year. It's like that last feather in Lamar's cap to get maybe the rest of the naysayers off his back after the MVPs. But all time, I don't know. Browns, Madden, NFL cover athlete Peyton Hillis.
Yes.
Yeah, no chance. No chance of that. All right. let's move on here.
Wait, I do want to say another
Yeah.
player that I loved was, first off, a little side story with this. The first year I ever won in a fantasy football league, it was, I had to have been fairly young, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I was drafting just guys, and I drafted Marshawn Lynch. Didn't even really know who he was, and it was his first like breakout season, and then so he like won me the championship basically. So then
Wow.
I loved watching him. He's just hilarious too.
Well,
With his
he's a
like whole
national
interview.
treasure.
I know
Yeah.
exactly. So I loved Marshawn Lynch. Yeah.
Yeah. Marshawn's cool. Even now, anytime you see him, it's like you have to watch because
Yes.
who knows what he's going to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I love it. I love it. All right, now we'll shift gears a little bit more into the fantasy football side of things. So, this is a multi-part question here.
Okay.
So what fantasy football leagues are you in this year? Let's just start there. What you maybe just give a brief how many teams and what's the format?
Yep. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. One of them is one I've been in for a long time with my friends. A lot of them are from back home. That's a PPR league, one full PPR. There's 10 teams this year, and it's not like a guillotine league or a keeper league, just a new league every year, snake draft. And we have like a small buy-in. It's like $20 or something, and then loser has to do a punishment at the end of the year. And then my other 2, one is with you and your work, and then the other is with my current work. So Chris and I, like you said, we're physical therapists, but we're traveling physical therapists. So we move like about every 6 months on average, give or take. So it's interesting sometimes, like, so every year I have like a new league, and I get to see how much this place cares about football or not, or like how much they know about it.
Right.
Or even like we'll leave mid-season. Like last year or 2 years ago, I was in a league in a place in Washington, and I left mid-season, and then I made it to the championship, and I was against my old boss. So I was like not even there. I was like, I gotta beat him, but I lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in 3 leagues. I think they're all full PPR. I think the other 2, how many are in our league?
8.
8, and there's 8 in my work one too.
It's a little sad, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
What about you?
All right. So I am in 3 leagues so far. I've got the work one, like Colby mentioned, that we're in together. 8 teams, redraft, full point PPR. I'm in a guillotine league. So for those that don't know what a guillotine league is, or a survivor league, sometimes it's called, you have a ton of teams. So usually 16 plus. This one, I think this year we're at 18 teams.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, a lot of teams. That draft gets deep very quickly. All of a sudden you're like starting John Mechie. So 18 teams, snake draft, redraft, but you don't play head to head. It's just whoever has the least amount of points at the end of the week, their team gets cut, their players go to waivers, and then it's, what do you call it? Auction style waivers. So you get $1,000 at the beginning of each season, and then you can bid on that players or that league members players that are on waivers, and then last team standing wins is how that works.
That's fun. That sounds like a fun league. Sounds like you gotta keep up with everything too.
You definitely do, and doing the auction style waivers is so nerve-wracking because you don't know what someone else is bidding, and so you're just like they're blind bids. They're blind bids. Yeah,
that's tough.
You don't know. You're trying to gauge player value. You're trying to. It's really tough, and the cream rises really fast in those leagues too. Like the clear and cut best team from the beginning pretty much stays the best team. So then it makes the waivers all that more important. Let's see. The third league I'm in is what I call my main league. So that's with my best friends from back home, and it's a 12 team league. I actually don't know if we're doing a full point PPR this year or not. We usually do a half a point PPR just because we've got some very wise members in our league, and they believe in running the ball.
That's right.
So
that's
they
true
love
football.
That's real football.
Yeah.
Big game football.
Yeah, that's right.
So they like to have the running backs keep more of their value. So
yeah,
we usually do half a point PPR there. It's a keeper league, and our keeper rules are you get to take 3 players and keep them.
nice.
Up to 3 players, no more. So maximum of 3 players, and then whatever draft pick they were the season prior, they are worth 3 draft picks ahead if you choose to keep them.
Yep.
If they're undrafted, congratulations, you're GM of the year. You get to keep them at 15 and have them essentially for, on average, their whole career. I mean, you could keep them for 4 seasons in a row. That's that league. I usually do another league with my family. That's 8 teams. No one has said anything, and we've got 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that we're
might
probably
not
not doing that. We're probably not doing
Yeah.
that league this year.
That's
And then I
good.
usually do a couple of public leagues on ESPN because
You love it, baby.
I got a problem.
You live and
I
breathe
got a
it.
problem. I live
Yeah.
and breathe. All right.
Nice.
The public leagues are for anyone out there that also just trudges in those public leagues.
Yeah.
I'm out there, baby.
There you go.
We're getting in the slop.
This man does mock drafts every day for weeks leading up to the.
Yes, it's true. The draft happens in April. The next day, fantasy prep starts.
That's
You better
right.
believe it. Now, this is gonna roll right in nicely to my next questions. I do all that fantasy prep, but do I win all the time? I win 0% of the times. So the next question now for you, Colby, is have you ever won or have you ever come in dead last?
I have won the year that Marshawn Lynch was on my team. That was
Right.
a long time ago. I feel like I have not won since. I've came very close. Like 2 years ago, I was in the championship in that one league. I got to the championship in my friend's league a couple years ago. Actually, 2 years ago, I got dead last in my friend's league, and I had to run a beer mile, which for you out there, if you don't know what a beer mile is, you go to a track. You're supposed to go to a track. 4 laps is a mile. You have 4 beers, and before each lap, you have to finish that beer. And I did not make it without throwing up several times. My
Good
time was
punishment.
pretty good, though.
What
It was
did
like
you run?
sub
What'd you
12.
run?
Sub 12
Dang.
with, you can't move while you're drinking either.
Right. You count the time that you
Yeah.
drink the beer. That's pretty good.
What's ironic though is the guy who, we have to film it, so there's proof that you did it. So the guy who's my childhood best friend in that league, I went to Kansas City. He filmed me run it. The very next year, he got dead last, so I went to Kansas City and filmed him run the beer mile. So there's a little
There
justice
you
there.
go. There you go. There you go. Got your get back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the years I've been playing fantasy, I've never won. I've come in second more times than I can count.
Yeah.
I really know how to draft a first half team, but we,
Yeah.
we don't
The
finish
longevity's not there.
strong. We don't finish strong. No,
People
we
are bouncing
coast.
off.
We coast. So yeah, I've come in second. I came in second last year in my main league with my buddies, and ended up losing that. I needed Jahmyr Gibbs to have 60 points,
Oh.
but he let me down. Came in
That
second
would've
in
been
my
something.
family league all the time. Public leagues, no comment. Last place, I've never gotten last. I think out of all these leagues, I probably have not made the playoffs maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So I'm always in the mix.
Yeah.
Always in the mix. Anything can happen any given Sunday. They made a whole movie about that,
That's right.
I think. So no punishments for me ever. But
Nice.
also No grand prize.
Do you guys have punishments in your league for dead last?
Weirdly enough, in my main league, no. Like I
Hmm.
said, we've got some wise elders in that league.
Yeah,
Now they know how to have a good time,
yeah,
but they know normally no punishment.
yeah,
If a punishment happens, it's if they're in person and they're like, "Hey, you came dead last. We're gonna
yeah,
make you do something right now, spur of the moment."
yeah,
They may do something like that.
yeah,
Otherwise, no, we don't have any punishments. Just handsome payouts because the buy-in keeps going up.
yeah,
Inflation,
yeah, yep.
inflation. Um, all right. Dead last. Oh yeah, you talked about the punishments. Dead last, first or last there. All right. So this is you can tell me if it's boring to talk about. This isn't boring to me. Again, I I'm an absolute goblin mode when it comes to
Yeah.
fantasy. So any new rules or noteworthy changes in any of your leagues?
We talked about dropping to half PPR, but everyone voted against it, and we kept it
Mm.
PPR. Otherwise, though, we are probably the most straightforward you can imagine league. Always have been. There was something this year someone wanted to change, but then no one like. We talked about it at the end of the year last year, and then it just never happened. I don't even
Mm.
remember what it was. But no, we don't have anything exciting.
No.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Hey, that's
What about
okay.
you?
Sometimes if it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, no real new rules. Well, this work league that we're doing together,
yeah.
um, I tried to, so I'm commissionering
Mmm.
that league. Um, and so I tried to set some rules because we have some people in this league that aren't big football people. So I'm trying to make it so that getting into the nitty gritty of particularly defense and kickers
Yeah,
doesn't change the outcome too much. So
yeah,
we'll see what the scoring looks like. I tried to make it so that you don't get punished too much for a bad defense, and then it's like you're having to scour the waiver wire to pick up a new defense.
yeah.
Same thing with kicking. I tried to make it more even, kind of level out the scoring a little bit. And this might be a new rule for you, but we do this rule in my main league, and we're going to do it in this one too. But you get a bonus for big plays. So plays of 40 plus yards that
Oh.
score, and it's running or receiving. So quarterbacks don't get it for passing,
Mm-hmm.
but if you catch a touchdown pass 40 plus yards, or you have a touchdown run of 40 plus yards, you get a bonus 1 or 2 points. 1 point, you
That's
get a
sweet.
bonus point
I like that.
on top of that. Yep.
That's fun. It
For
rewards
home
the big
runs.
plays.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. Um,
How
and to
did you set
help,
that up? Did you
mhm.
just like put that into the system?
Yeah, when you go into the settings as a league commissioner, you have all the settings for the league are open to you. You can
Nice.
change the scoring. You can do whatever. You can add scoring. So one of the things I did to help level out the defensive scoring, for
Mm-hmm.
example, is unless it's a true blowout, I think they put it at 35 plus points.
Yeah.
At 35 plus points, your defense will still lose most of its points that you start with.
Yeah.
But at all the other levels, just because, I don't know, NFL teams score more, things
Yeah.
like that, you don't get punished as much if, let's say, they get 24 points scored on them or
Mm-hmm.
28 points scored on them. And then you will also get teams are going for it on fourth down more.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be cool. I added half a point for a fourth down stop,
Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea. No,
some
I like
things
that
like
rule.
that. So yeah, really getting into the nerd stuff there.
Yeah. That makes it fun. I'll be honest, I don't even know how the defensive score works. I never have. I've never understood it.
It
I
is a
just
little
take the score they
confusing.
give me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess
I'm
they
like, oh,
got it.
cool.
I
Yeah.
guess they got it. Yeah. So all you start with points. You start with
Okay.
10 points. And
Yeah.
then you do good things like not let the opponent score on you. Really the
Yeah.
only way you lose points is letting the opponent score on you.
Okay.
So if they're not if you don't get any turnovers, any defensive touchdowns, or anything, but the other team also scores 0 points, you will end that game with 10 points.
Okay. That
And
makes
then the
sense.
more they score, you get less points, but the more turnovers, sacks, things like that, you get more points on defense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Who knew it was easy, straightforward.
Yeah.
Just never looked into it.
We're learning. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I think that is all I had for the fantasy football questions.
Okay. Well, in that
All
case,
right.
we're going to shift focus from the fantasy part of the show to the fantasy part of the show.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with
Okay.
you.
So I've been thinking a lot about where I want to steer the fantasy genre portion of this show, because obviously the fantasy genre covers a wide range of mediums: books, movies, shows, video games, TTRPGs, comic books, etc. But for now, this might change in the future, we'll see. We're gonna hone in on books. The main reason is that's what I consume the most of. Chris, I know you consume a lot of it, but also, like I mentioned before, I'm an author, so I'm like spending a ton of my time in that medium. So we're gonna start with that, and then if it expands or we want to talk about other stuff, maybe we'll do that in the future. But speaking of that, I was gonna ask you, Chris, what is your medium of choice, or like your favorite, or maybe you have a few, to consume fantasy?
So I have not been a big. This is gonna sound bad, but hang with me here now, okay?
But you can't read.
But I never could read.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't a big book guy, and by book guy, I really mean novel.
Yeah.
Like, read plenty of academic books. I can get through that no problem. But for some reason, sitting down and trying to read a story someone else wrote was tough. But what I figured out is I didn't know what I wanted to read, what would hold my attention. And also, turns out when you wait till you're really tired and lay down all the way in bed and try to read, you'll probably fall asleep.
Good luck.
And that's exactly what would happen. Yeah. So I changed a few things. Also had some good advice on some books to get into. So I've really been reading seriously for just a couple years. But I am a huge movie and TV guy. And so that's the primary way that I get fantasy. Something recent is like watching through some of the Alien movies. The new Alien Earth show just came out on Hulu, so I've been watching that. Apple TV Plus has some great fantasy and sci-fi things. Of course, what millennial boy didn't watch all the Lord of the Rings, all the Harry Potters, things like that. So always into movies, but then I was always the kid that when they were like, "Oh, did you read the books?" I'm like, no, who would read the books? But I'm working on that.
Nice. No, that's good. I have several thoughts about, like how you said, you just realized maybe you weren't reading the right stuff or weren't finding the right stuff for you. I firmly believe this to my soul, that anyone that tells me that they don't like reading in general, I firmly believe they haven't found what speaks to them. And that doesn't obviously have to be fantasy, but I really do feel like there's a genre or even a subgenre out there for everyone. And if you can find it, it's a pretty magical thing. If you can get lost in a book, it's a great feeling. Just like watching a great show, you just lose some time for a while, but you're not like disappointed afterwards where if you're like doom scrolling sometimes 2 hours go by and you hate yourself for a while.
What do you have to, are you okay?
Yeah, for real. I'm trying to get off my doom scrolling. No, that's good though, because this works because I don't watch a lot of movies or shows. I love them, but I know myself and I will binge them without end. And I also enjoy reading and want to do all these other things, so I just like don't do it that much. But mine, other than reading, is I play a lot of TTRPG or like Dungeons and Dragons, even though that's technically a subset of a TTRPG. Been doing that a lot more the last few years. But even I didn't start reading consistently until I was in undergraduate school. And it was actually because my now wife, before we started dating, she loved Harry Potter, and I knew she had read the books. She was like the type that took notes in the margins of the books. So I was
Wow.
like, shoot, man.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
littered with notes. Like theories or
Wow.
like keeping tabs on things. But so I was like, okay, if I want to talk to this girl about something, I should start reading these books so I can talk to her about it. And then I ended up liking them so much that she'd be like, "You want to hang out?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm reading Harry Potter." Like, give me. Yeah. But
Give me
it
some
obviously
space.
worked out. We're married now. But ever since then, and actually, right after I finished that series, I loved it, but I didn't even think of like, what should I read next? Until one of my roommates was like, "Hey man, I saw you reading Harry Potter. I know you well enough. Here's something I think you would like." And he handed me Red Rising, which is something that we both love, which is sci-fi fantasy. It's a mix. But if you guys haven't read Red Rising, give it a chance. Yeah, so I've been reading ever since then. Question, speaking about Red Rising, do you have a singular favorite fantasy book, or maybe like a series, or maybe an author? I guess that's 3 questions, but
who's counting?
yeah.
I would say, the number of books I've read into this genre is very small, probably considered or compared to the average fantasy and sci-fi reader. So with that grain of salt, I would say it's a tough choice between, it's like 1A, 1B. I think so far, singular book, the Well of Ascension, the
Oh
second
yeah.
Mistborn book, on its own is probably the best book I've ever read.
Yeah.
Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, that Well of Ascension, I'm late to the party, but my goodness, an amazing book.
Yes.
Series in total, though, of course, that first Mistborn saga is great. I mean, all the books are good. But I think as a series in whole, Red Rising, part of the intrigue is that story is not done yet.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got the last book supposed to be coming out next fall. I think
so.
Next summer, something like that. But that is definitely more what I'm drawn to, even in movies and TV shows. Is more of the sci-fi with a little bit of fantasy, like Dune. That kind of field I like a little bit more. Star Wars.
Yeah.
So the Red Rising series as a whole, and there's just so much character development. It doesn't go the way you think it's going to go the whole time. There's plenty of action, but there's a lot of philosophy happening.
Oh yeah.
In that book too. So I think just on the whole, and it's just like, for lack of a better word, it's just sick. There are just some
it's insane
lines and just moments. And that's the other big thing for it, is that we're at 6 books right
7.
now. The 7th book coming out, right?
No, he's written 7 so far. Lightbringer was number 7.
Lightbringer was number 7. So 7 books that are fairly lengthy, and there's just moments throughout each of them that you can always kind of go back to, that you're like, oh man, that was sick, and it's like, oh, remember that? Oh man, that was sick. And that's just hard to beat.
It's so good, dude. Oh my god, I love that series. So I should say this, by the way. First off, I was wrong. Lightbringer's the 6th book. You were right.
So I was.
You were right. Yeah.
Let this be known that Episode 1, dispute 1,
Yes,
1,
Chris,
0.
mark it on the board. Chris
Put it on
1,
the board.
Colby 0.
Put it on the board.
We're going to include some sci-fi for sure. I think a lot of sci-fi has so many fantasy elements to it that you could even call it like sci-fi fantasy. Like,
Yeah.
if you're telling me that Star Wars is not sci-fi fantasy, they hold freaking lightsabers and can fly and have the Force. Like, come on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And same with like Red Rising, even though it's distant future human evolution. There's so many fantasy elements, and the stuff is sweet. So we'll include that stuff in this. Yeah, Red Rising's amazing. I think that Red Rising is probably my favorite series. Also, it's just written incredibly well for the types of things that you and I like.
Yeah.
My favorite author, gotta go to Brandon Sanderson. I love all his stuff.
B Sand.
Yeah, his books are what made me want to start writing. They inspired me to have more creative ideas and things like that. Where'd you go?
Pause for station identification.
Yeah. You're gone. Hey, look at that.
Hey, you're Cleveland Guardians, baby.
Better than the Royals right now. There you are.
Better than the Royals always.
So Brandon Sanderson's probably my favorite author. Red Rising's probably my favorite series. I've got some other series that are really close up there, like the Dresden Files, which is urban fantasy by Jim Butcher. Love that. But I don't think I have like a singular book. If you like force me to pick, I would probably say Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, which is a standalone in the Cosmere, for those of you who know what that is out there. Only because, I mean, it's a great book, but it was the first Sanderson I ever read, and it like changed my brain chemistry. So that's why it's up there for me.
Yeah, that's good.
Question for you, Chris. I'm actually curious about this.
Yeah.
Do you prefer audiobook or physical book? Or is there nuance to it for you?
There's a nuance. Everything in my life is nuanced. I can't be black and white, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the main reason I'd prefer an audiobook is because I can be listening to the book, and do all the other crap that I have to do in my life at the same time, and not make time for one or the other.
Yeah.
The main reason I like physical book is because the audiobook, because I do that while I'm doing a bunch of other stuff, I miss a lot because my attention wavers when I try to go back and forth with that. So the other thing, and this is really just kind of a petty idiosyncrasy of mine, is that I physically having to hold open a book when the book just wants to do that.
Yes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that annoys me too sometimes.
It really, really annoys me.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone in that.
No.
Especially if you're like trying to read on your side in bed and you're like trying to hold it with one hand, and it's just like not, and your hand starts to cramp up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And there's always like the one of the corners you can't see all the words.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I go back and forth. I'll have phases where I audiobook like crazy, but then I'll have phases where I physically read a ton. I think if in a perfect world, I would like to physically read most of my books for that retention purpose. I feel like that's when I get lost in like the world disappears for a while. But there's certain series that I will only audiobook because I love the audiobook reader so much. Like the Dresden Files, the guy is amazing. Okay. He is an actor. He was in Star Trek. James Marsters is his name. He's amazing. So I can't read that book without hearing his voice as the character Harry Dresden. And then another one, which I know Kelly's reading, is Dungeon Crawler Carl. That audiobook reader is insanely good. He plays... Yeah. The first time I listened to the first book, like halfway through, I googled how many voice actors read Dungeon Crawler Carl, because he was so good at being distinctly different on other characters,
Mm,
to the point where I thought it was multiple people. He's just that good.
yeah.
That series is awesome,
Oh,
by the way.
that makes me think too, because you're totally right as far as if there's a good audiobook reader. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Um,
Yeah.
Huge Harry Potter fan. And so again, only having seen the movies without reading the books and then being able to eventually read the books was a big deal. But Jim Dale, and I'm sure anyone who knows Harry Potter has had any experience with those audiobooks, fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic at reading those. The other small point I'll make too
Mm-hmm.
is that what is nice that I've discovered is your Spotify. If you have premium Spotify, you get those hours, whatever
Oh
they give you,
yeah.
like 15 hours to read or to
Mm-hmm.
listen to audiobooks. And so having some of these like larger books, you know, 1,000+ pages, and you can kind of go back and forth
That's
between
true.
the audiobook and the physical book is
That's
a good
true.
strategy that I like.
Yeah. I do that for the Stormlight Archive, Brandon Sanderson's 1,000-page epic fantasies. I'll do both. Otherwise, it'll take me literally 4 months to read one book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
That kind of leads into my next one. So, when you're reading a book, are you a buyer or a renter typically? Like library, or do you buy the book and like put it
Yeah,
on your shelf, or
I
just audio?
yeah, I usually will I'll usually buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Um Especially because I'm just slow.
Yeah,
Pause.
yeah, yeah,
I'm a slow reader.
yeah.
I'm a slow reader, so
It's
and I
gonna
read in
return before you
bunches. Like
finish.
exactly, I'll read 200 pages at one time and then not pick the book up again for 7 days.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I know it's going to be a short book, or if it's in a series that I know, like I'm really into right then and there, and I have time if I don't have other stuff going on. Um, but I will try to buy a book. I will try to buy it from an independent bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will buy occasionally for the Kindle e-reader
Yeah.
for Amazon, or I'll use like Libby, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I'm going to
Yeah.
maybe reread something that I've read before that I can kind of get through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Libby. Libby's great. And the
Libby is
perk of
great.
being a traveler is I have like 8 library cards now because of all these places I've lived. So
Yeah,
most of the time it's available.
yeah, you can always find it
Yeah.
available somewhere. That is a perk.
Except recently they're making me verify all my cards and they're not working.
They're
It's
getting hip
making
to
me.
you. They're
Dude,
getting
yeah,
hip
they're
to you.
getting to me. It's crazy.
The library feds.
Yeah. No, I prefer, well, it's kind of been, as I've graduated college and now have a job that makes me actual money, I prefer to buy them. Before, when I was
Yeah.
in school, I'm librarying everything. But I also, something I personally want in my life, in my future home, is a library, like a
Oh
study that
yeah.
has like bookshelves and dim lighting. That's like backlit walls in the shelves.
Yeah.
So I have a running list of all the books that I've gotten from the library that I don't physically have. That once we settle down, that's gonna be my first big purchase. I'm not even gonna get like a not a bed or anything. I'm like, Claire, I'm spending
Yeah.
$500 on a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
books right now.
Yeah. You've got to sleep. You've got to sleep on the ground, but
That's right. Yeah.
at least you can read. Put you right to
Yeah,
sleep.
that's
That's
right.
right.
hmm
Oh yeah.
I also like going into the independent bookstores. Those places are great,
They
especially
are.
like used bookstores. Awesome.
Yeah.
Books are cheap, and they've been loved. They've been used.
hmm
I do love me a Barnes and Noble though. Oh man,
Oh,
I love that place.
Barnes and Noble. I can't remember the last time I stepped foot in a Barnes and Noble.
Really? Oh man,
Oh
they do
yeah,
it
there was
right.
one like at the mall. To me, that was like the mall bookstore.
I get that.
You know,
Yeah. I
but
feel
I
like
guess they're huge.
I think I like them so much because I would go there to write because like being around books like inspired me, and it was typically more quiet than like the independent bookstores because more people were like bustling through those,
Yeah,
and they have the little Starbucks attached, so I go over there. So there's a little
there you go.
sentiment to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what got you into fantasy, especially since you're newer to it?
Wow. I probably Harry Potter without
Mm-hmm.
really knowing or like having that conscious thought or decision
Yeah.
process. Like probably Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. I mean, I can remember watching Lord of the Rings the second I was old enough to. My
Oh
dad was
yeah.
a big Star Trek guy.
Oh cool.
Um, yes, like the OG Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, I've never seen any of the Star Trek.
Yeah.
Um,
I hardly have
but
either.
my dad was a big, he loved like sci-fi
Mm-hmm.
and Western. Dang, son. All right.
Western, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a
All right.
definite thing. How old's your dad?
66.
Yeah. That feels right. I feel like that generation, Westerns were huge.
All right. He has to switch to the
Yeah, look at
lo-fi.
that. Yeah, that's right.
Let the camera cool
The
off.
noir.
Yes. No, so dad was big into sci-fi and westerns. So big into like the black and white western
Yeah.
TV and movies and things like that. So I was always exposed to sci-fi again, mostly through Star Trek, a little bit of Star Wars. Of course, the dude, I was thinking about this. It's crazy is when you talk to, so we'll have patients that are kids, like
Mm-hmm.
under 12-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, I have nieces that are 12 and 8 and 7. And
Yeah.
so talking to them, like there are new Star Wars things coming out, but those original 6, it's like
Yeah.
I went and saw some of those in the movie theater, which is just wild to think about.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Of course, the Lord of the Rings movies too. So that's probably what got me into it. Again, before I had a conscious thought of like, I love this as a genre. It's more
Mm-hmm.
just like Lord of the Rings is sweet because fighting.
Yeah.
Um, and then Harry Potter is just whimsical. I mean, we grew up with those movies kind of
Oh
as they
yeah.
came out. They matched our
Absolutely.
age, so that's what
Mm-hmm.
got me into it.
It does make me wonder, like for our generation, millennials. I bet anyone that's a fantasy fan, if you ask them that question, over 50% are going to say Harry Potter is what got them into it, which
Hmm.
makes sense. And like our parents' generation, Star Wars, and then Lord of the Rings with probably millennials too because of the movie timing, maybe above us too. But I
Yeah,
wonder what that's going to be for like the kids, like the young teenagers or like 8 to 13-year-olds right now. What is going to be there? This got me into it.
yeah,
Maybe even, I mean, the new Harry Potter show is about to come out. Not about to, but in the next year or two.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
It'll be interesting to see um,
Especially in
how
show
those
format. I feel like
become
that's,
more,
yeah.
yeah, mainstream. I mean, you look at again, you look at Dune, you look at like these alien movies that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You know what I'm thinking now? Like right below us, like the people who are like 17 to like mid 20s, Game of Thrones, the show was probably what did it for
oh
them.
yeah, yeah, man, I forgot about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, that was a national phenomenon. Not worldwide, not national.
right.
God, that show was amazing.
Yeah,
And then they
it
ruined
was
it.
so good. Hot take.
We'll talk about that sometime, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. I do. As we keep talking about this, I keep thinking about it. You know, we had there were a lot of authors, and I mean there are still a lot of authors. We've talked about some, Pierce Brown and Brandon Sanderson, among others, who are still kind of forging ahead
Yeah,
with
definitely.
the books because most of sci-fi and fantasy that you see in TV shows and movies like aren't original.
Yeah.
They come written from
Mm-hmm.
books. So it'll be interesting to see how will, of course, Brandon Sanderson talks all the time about adapting
Yeah.
his books and things like that. Will that
Oh,
eventually, at some point when we're older, be like that? To your point, like that Star
That's
Wars
so true.
for those
I
kids or
freaking
that
hope so.
generation.
That'd be sweet.
I know.
I
Well,
cannot wait for the eventual Mistborn adaptation.
I was about to say, well, if Ascension comes out,
Oh, we'll go together.
I'm doing like old school midnight premiere. I don't
That's
even know if
right.
they do
I'll
those
stand in line.
anymore.
I'll dress up as Vin, or well, I probably wouldn't dress up as Vin. Dress up as Elend.
Well,
I don't know who I would dress up.
Vin came screaming out of there,
Yeah.
no hesitation. So I feel like
Yeah.
you have to do it now.
Yeah. All right, fine.
All right.
Oh man, yeah, that's interesting. It is interesting too how when people get into the genre, a lot of times it's not from books. Not it is sometimes, but a lot of times it's a show or a movie, and then that like gets them more interested in it as a whole, and then they start reading. Or actually, for me, in 5th grade, one of my teachers, well, my teacher in 5th grade, she read every day. We'd have a 15-minute break after lunch that she called reading time, where she would read, if she could get it done, a chapter of a book to us. And for a while, she was reading this series called Gregor the Overlander, which is by the same author, it's Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. It was her first breakout series. And they're YA for sure. Like the main character is 11 and doesn't get that much older. There's 5 books, spans like a few years. But it was amazing. So she read us 3 in a full year, and then I read the last 2 on my own. So I knew it was weird because like I loved it, kind of like you said with Harry Potter. Like I loved it, but then I didn't seek out anything. I didn't read for another 10, like probably close to 10 years. So it's interesting. But then like Harry Potter is what did it for me. Yeah. Last question. Do you remember? Well, I kind of just answered that myself. Do you remember your first fantasy book, movie, show that you consumed? Can you like vividly remember, or do you have an impactful one?
First. Yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record. It really just comes back to Harry Potter. Like I remember being in what would have been elementary school. Yeah, elementary school. Um, when those movies were coming out, and just thinking how great they were to me, and how awesome they were, and that's carried over. I mean, I still watch those Harry Potter movies.
Oh yeah, we both
regularly.
Do.
Yeah,
I mean,
regularly.
We're 30, man. Like that's it.
That's it. I got Harry Potter. I'm trying to think of something else. I mean, definitely Lord of the Rings too. And one vivid memory I guess I have with that is the video games, like the OG Lord of the Rings video games.
Those were sweet.
PlayStation 2.
Yes.
All you kids out there.
Oh, I remember that.
PlayStation 2. What? I think about this all the time. It's like I have a 500 gigabytes of storage on my Xbox right now. I can't keep all my games on there at one time.
Yeah.
And the PS2 back in the day, you have like 1-2 gigabyte memory card, like for all your games. Just insane. But man, me and a childhood friend of mine, he lived in the house right behind me growing up.
Yeah.
We would play. That's Eric. Shout out Eric. If you're watching. Me and Eric, man, we would put the hours in on that Lord of the Rings video game. That was sweet.
We had that one. We had the Hobbit video game on the, I think it was the PS2. I was young enough to where those like scared me still. I was like kind of scared to like progress.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know what's gonna happen next. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. I already mentioned mine, but my first probably real experience was Gregor the Overlander. It was amazing. I actually I went back and read that when I was in college to see if it held up, and it did. It's a good series. I always recommend that to kids who are like near that 5th grade age, because it deals with, there's war and death and like love, but I comprehended it all when I was that age. It wasn't too much. It was good.
Good. I've got a question for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's do it.
What are you reading right now?
Oh, yeah. Currently, I just finished A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria E. Schwab. And I just started the second book, which is called A Gathering of Shadows, I believe is what it's called. The series is sweet.
Okay.
I've read a book of hers before called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I love her writing style. It's very like elegant and quaint, but not super like flowery. She just like gets to the point, but also writes really well. And the magic system's sweet. And the second book, one of the main characters she's kind of like a pirate, and I've been like weirdly wanting to read a pirate book, so I was like, oh, that worked out. Yeah,
there you go. All right,
that's good. I recommend it to fantasy lovers out there. What about you?
Cool. This is the book I'm trying to get through right now.
The Will of the Many. Yes.
The Will of the Many. She thick.
I just want to say, readers, listeners out there, Chris recently visited me out here in Alaska, and he gave me that book. I read the first paragraph. I'm like, that is sick. So I definitely am adding that to my list. It is I've never read a first paragraph. I'm like, holy crap, that's good.
Yeah.
That hit me hard.
It's great. It's great. So here it is again. Will of the Many, James Islington. I don't know if you can see that on my full-time HD.
Yeah, I can see it.
PC camera there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's great. His writing style is, I would say, definitely not bland. It's good, but he tells the story. The characters have their own voices, and it's not too overdone or underdone, which is good. And then what else about the book? It's one in a series, hierarchy series. So the second book is coming out this fall, I think, in November.
Oh, nice.
So I'm trying to finish it.
Get ready for it.
Before then, and since that trip in Alaska, I have not read a single page. So, but definitely a great read. Looking forward to it. It fits more of, like we talked about, it fits more of the sci-fi for sure. I think there's a magic system, but it's yet to be revealed. If there is, versus the Brandon Sanderson style, which is here's the magic system in the first two chapters, and now our story. This definitely does not take that approach. There's a little more mystery, which makes it a little easier, honestly, to kind of get into. You're not overwhelmed at the beginning.
Yeah, Sanderson has a steep learning curve for sure to his books. Yeah, that's cool. I should say I'm also audiobooking Dungeon Crawler Carl, book 7. I think it's book 7. I'm probably wrong again. But I've read, I literally started the first one in January, and I've listened to all of them up till now. And after I finish this one, I'm caught up to where he's currently at in the season. But yeah.
Cool.
Love it. Well.
Cool. All right. That will wrap up episode number 1. Fantasy and football.
Do you think we used a water bottle?
Oh, we probably used like 4 water bottles for all that chat you got. Just doing our part. But yeah, thanks for watching if you watched. Thanks for listening if you listened.
We'll see you around.
1. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.